to start off with, I'll just quickly show you the gutters, what we've done, and then I'll go inside, get my shoes off, okay? So I'll start off outside. All right, so you can see we have put some gutters up. I went with the plastic gutters, just kind of as a temporary solution. They don't look too bad, but I don't exactly love it. So if you look up there, sort of a brown gutter. So that's the style. You can see the corner style. That's why we didn't have a huge selection of gutters, because you need gutters that shape to a house like this, so have those corners. Having said that, I met up with the original builder the other day, and he took me around to another house that had stainless steel painted in copper, and they were really nice. So maybe that's an idea in the future. I'm also thinking of going gutterless on some parts as well. So let's see how these are working. So the Genkan, it's a bit too close, face is a bit too close to the camera there, sorry guys. So you can see the Genkan, I've left the front bit gutterless. The gutter guy was a bit confused why I'd do that, but I figured there's not that much water dripping off the front there. And it looks so much nicer without the gutters. All right, I'm going to get out of the rain for a second. Man, I wish I could sort out this landscape, because I can't use the tripod if I'm in portrait. Yeah, that interview with the original builder, I've got to organise that. He wanted me to send him a list of questions first so he can prepare. He's a bit nervous and he's not the biggest talker out there. He's a really nice guy though, so he's happy to do it. But he wants to see. I told him it's going to be a relaxed interview, nothing, formal. Probably. But my thoughts were to perhaps go around and obviously come here, go to his workshop, maybe follow him around as he goes to the other project now he's working on. He's building a shrine at the moment, not so far away. So maybe I'll follow him around, ask him questions as we walk around, something like that, something to keep him relaxed. Yeah, he needs a beer. I'm not sure if he drinks though. He's actually quite religious. Yeah, I've got a gimbal, and a tripod, but I'm trying to hold. I have to hold it, sideways. Unfortunately, I don't have the. Well, my arms are and shoulders are pretty good from all the sanding, so I guess I should be able to do this. Yeah, we've got problems with. That's another project. There are going to be so many little things to sort out, but let's have the camera around the other way. So look, it rains just a little bit, and we get a little lake of water building up there. So I got to sort that out. There's so many little things I need to do. Yeah, start the stream in landscape. Yeah, I know, maybe it's too late for that now. I'd love to switch to landscape. Yeah, I'll be making this available to view on YouTube later, unless it goes really pear-shaped, and I don't want to keep it. But yeah, should be okay. Yeah, I think the low ground areas are terrible for flooding, but even during the typhoon, this area wasn't too bad. We're also protected by this elevated concrete base as well. So yeah, during the typhoon we were fine. We're actually slightly elevated up here. The town at the bottom of the valley is not so lucky, although they were fine during the typhoon as well. That's where I currently live, so. Yeah, a drainage system in the ground. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm thinking about that. I actually haven't spent a whole lot of time on it. There's so many other things that we've had to do. Okay, so some people are giving me advice about switching. So move-in day, probably looking at around 2 months. So on Monday, the local council will be connecting the main sewerage from the road to the edge of our property. And then at that point, the plumber can then connect from the edge of our property. It's about 60 meters to the house. We've decided, since we need to fix the septic tank anyway, rather than get a new septic tank, we just pay a little bit extra to get a connection to the main sewage. So since this house was built, the main sewage was also built in this town. All right, let me try and get out of this portrait and get into landscape. Let's take some of your suggestions. Okay. No, I don't want to stop streaming, all right? Do I? Sorry, I'm going to try and answer all of your questions. There's so many coming at once. I'll try and scroll down. And yeah, I did say I wanted a pond. Maybe this is a sneaky way of getting myself a pond. Just let the area flood. Dig a hole and let it flood. Yeah, a French drain system. I've been thinking of a French drain system for certain parts. Fortunately and unfortunately, the grass area doesn't really flood much. I mean, fortunately in that it drains pretty well, but it means it's going to require a lot of water in summer. On the other hand, so I'm gonna give up on landscape and just try and manage in portrait. I like to think myself as pretty technically inclined, but obviously not. Yeah. Restart is needed to change from portrait to landscape. Yeah, but I restart, then yeah, I don't really want to restart. Yeah, lots of green, a lot of weeds also starting to show. When will part 5 come out? This is part 5. All right, so let's move outside. It's actually pretty cold. Let's move inside. It's a bit cold. All right. I'm going to take my shoes off. And you get a sideways view of the Genka. All right, so the carpenter's not in today. They do actually come in on Sundays. But I think that they wanted to take a break, and taking a break tomorrow while the works for the sewerage is done. Will I give a full tour of the house when it's done? Yeah, for sure. I'll give a full tour. Hi from Adelaide. How's it going there? Yeah, how's the situation there with the corona? Everyone healthy? So far, thankfully, my family is not directly affected. Yeah, I hope everyone out there is also doing okay. Are most of you under lockdown, or what's it like over there? Be careful not to trip while filming. I actually did imagine that I would trip over it while filming when I was thinking about this beforehand. Full lockdown in LA. All right, lockdown in Paris. Yeah, the kids are sort of excited, and they've got a few mixed feelings. So we're going to be a little bit further away from some of their friends, and be moving closer to other friends. So yeah, they're kind of a bit concerned about that, but they come here sometimes to play, and if it wasn't raining, I'd show you some of the stuff they've been doing. They've been playing a lot in the bamboo with some of their friends, making stuff and everything. So it's been fun to watch them over here. So I'm looking forward to moving. All right, so there's the roof. Now, I'll show you a little bit what we've done with the insulation. This is giving me a bit of stress. So I'm not 100% sure it's the right thing to do, but the architect and builder said we can do it because these walls are really thin. All of the original walls, probably only about 10 centimeters thick, plus the siding. And they had fiberglass batt insulation in, but they weren't airtight. So, and the bottoms, there was a lot of air coming up from the bottom under the siding, which meant that pretty much the insulation didn't work. So this house was freezing when I first came in. So they said the most effective and cheapest way to insulate would be to insulate the inside. So with the foam, and the outside, the carpenter was very adamant that the outside of the foam should still breathe for the wood, so any moisture and air can still get out. But the inside sealed with over this foam will be a vapor barrier, drywall, and we're putting in we're going to be applying a substance called shikui, which is a lime plaster, which they use in Japan. It's the same lime plaster that they use to seal the roof, and that's apparently pretty absorbent of moisture and any bacteria, and quite resistant to mold and things like that. Yeah, spray foam, they started using spray foam in Japan, but the walls are so thin, the outside, yeah, I guess you could have, I don't know if you can use spray foam on the outside towards the siding, but on the inside there are no studs on the inside. I've heard of Tyvek home wrap only because I've been researching a lot online just to see whether this is the right thing to do or what other options there were, and I've seen that product in America, but I don't think they have it here. We've got some wrap on the outside. Yeah, the problem with a house like this is it's just not designed to be insulated. The house, like I think old houses in other countries too, wooden houses, they're designed to be, they're designed to breathe, as they say. So it's designed to be cold in winter and have air flow in summer, because in Japan, especially around here, it gets to maybe 0 centigrade at night. This winter was particularly mild. It hardly got below 0, and during the day, 8 degrees or so. But the summer is really hot and humid, and it's not very enjoyable at all. So I'm mostly worried about the summer and the humidity rather than any problems with moisture in the walls during the winter, with dew and things like that. What is the engineering theory with the wooden legs holding up the house? The theory is that during earthquakes, the foundations can budge a little. There's flexibility in the foundations, so they're not attached to the concrete ground. They can actually flex a little. Are we getting a new kamidana? No, we're not, actually. I did ask my wife if we should get one, and she was not that keen. I think the current generation, or my wife's generation, don't tend to have them, especially if they've spent most of their time outside of the rural areas. The rural areas, they're more common, the kamidana. Our current house doesn't have one. We have a butsudan in the current house, a very small one, but no kamidana. So my wife said she didn't really want one. I would have been okay with one, for just tradition, and also some value there, but I probably won't now. So local permits, are local permits needed? Not really, no. I found it a bit of a grey area because I was asking the same thing. But apparently if you get an officially licensed architect to do the design, you don't need to get permits. They're responsible for building or designing to code, and they must sign off on the house. So they are, I guess, the ones who make sure that you're building to code. Is there asbestos and lead? Yeah, there is. Particularly houses built before the 80s had a lot of asbestos. So it's something that we were keeping an eye out for. We checked with the original the original builder, what materials he used. We were wondering about the old kitchen ceiling, whether that has asbestos or not. And he said no, it was just paper and glue. And so that was the main area. And the walls are not. They're just normal mortar. It's almost like concrete. And yeah, he said there's no asbestos used in that concrete either. So, okay, I'll show the house. Here we go. All right, so these rooms, these central washitsu, we're keeping shoji, the sliding doors here. We'll paper them up again, put new paper on them, and we'll have the fusuma middle sliding doors. We'll put those here as well. So this room here on the end can be kept separate. It could be used as a guest room, or where my mother-in-law sleeps. We can roll out a futon, and we can use this as a separate room, or we can open it up, because where I'm standing now is the living room. And so, as I showed in my last video, I'll have the wood-burning stove in there. The only place that we won't have any paper in the shoji is, we'll have the shoji in, but we won't have paper, is this door here, so it adjoins onto the kitchen and living area. Does the original family know that we're living here or doing this? I think they must do. That video of the 7 interesting things, a lot of people asked whether we got in touch to return some of the stuff to the family. And we reached out through neighbours, and they said they had already been. And once the house was abandoned, once they decided not to inherit, they actually did come through and go through the house and get any items of importance. So they said they were fine not taking it, to have known that we'd bought the place through that communication. They still live in the area, but I haven't met them. It would be interesting to meet them sometime. How big is the crew that's working on the house? There's only 2. There's the father and son. And then I've been doing what I can. Now that I've finished on the outside, I've come inside. So I asked them what I could do, and they told me putting the foam up, cutting it to shape with all of the rafters and beams up there was an absolute nightmare. What am I slacking about? All right, I'm going to scroll up to try and catch some of the previous questions. All right, second story progress. When we finish the first story, on the first floor, we're going to move in and then start work on the second floor. Right now, the way I'm thinking is that I would just like to move in and relax. So maybe the second floor we will start next year. I don't know, we'll see. Once we moved in, I might be able to, okay. But right now, I just want to get everything finished so I can relax. So, all right, so the carpenter's now working on building the stairs up to the second floor. So we've got the option to work on it as soon as we want to. And we had the window up there replaced with a double glazing. And we're also going to put shoji over that window. And these windows down here have shoji anyway, and this window is shoji. But that window is going to be important, so we need that window to be able, we'll have to put a fly screen on it as well, because that window is going to be important to let out heat and humidity and air during summer. Shoji is those paper, wooden and paper sliding doors. So you can see there, over in that corner over there, the shoji is that wooden door. But we've taken the paper out. It was in bad condition, the paper before. So we're going to put some new paper in, these things. And the glass down there, these are called snow shutters or something. So when it snows, you can actually lift it up and sit on the tatami and look at the snow on the ground. The new ones use plastic or glass. Yeah, you can get them with plastic. They don't look very nice. One of the shoji in our bedrooms has plastic, but we're going to get proper paper ones. I don't think they do anything extra for insulation. The paper itself obviously is not a great insulator, but it stops drafts coming in. The house doesn't have access to the internet right now, but we will. We'll have fiber optic cable coming up to the house. We'll have to. I'll speak to the electrician to work out when we need to install that. But yeah, a huge thing has been a lot of the electricals. So this house had hardly any electrical outlets, so we're getting a lot put in, and we're also getting LAN cables put in as well. So LAN to the TV section, LAN to our bedroom in case we need to work in there, and LAN to the upstairs sort of home office section. And then of course we'll have the wireless Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to try to go back and see some questions I've missed. The heating of the house is initially going to be a wood-burning stove. It's going to be a pretty big one. It's supposed to cover the square meterage of this house, but we'll see once we're in here. Otherwise, we might supplement with space heaters, maybe in the bedrooms in particular. Where did the tractor go? Yeah, we just sold it to a buyer. Because we couldn't get it working, we couldn't get as high price as we may have been able to get. But they don't sell for that higher price. And he was going to buy it and try and fix it up and then sell it. So we sold it for $300. I think he might be able to sell it if he fixes it up. But he took a bit of a risk to do that. But I think I'm sure he was covered, so he can sell it for a bit more than that, obviously. The LAN should be able to be updated. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we're just having, what do you call it, those tubes with the LAN running inside the tubes. So we would be able to take out the LAN and put in new ones. The tubes are these orange ones. Let me see if I can find one. They're 6-rib tubes, so they're the ones we're supposed to be getting, right? I hope it's too late now, though. So it seems like they're okay. All right, so I'm just going to scroll back up to some of the questions I might have missed. Where am I from? I'm from Australia. Are you going for the same style you showed in the prototype? It looked great. Yeah, so we're going for essentially the same style in the prototype. The only thing is the stairs are slightly different. The stairs are a bit more simple than what we had in the prototype. The kitchen island in the prototype obviously is all just white, but it's not going to look like that. Obviously the kitchen island will be done in the same style, kind of an open wooden style as those shelves over there. So we wanted to try and match those shelves over there. I think the countertop will be something different, but the body of the island will be like those shelves over there. Sorry, I'll bring it a bit close, it's a bit dark. So in the same, try and get the same color as well. How did I meet my wife? Well, I was here, this is my second time to be in Japan. I was here from 2003 to 2005 on a working holiday. And I met my wife during that working holiday. And then after my working holiday finished, my wife and I actually continued traveling for a year and a bit. And then after that, we moved to the UK, London. Thanks very much, Dijima. You're doing your own big home reno at the moment. How's it going? Yeah, we're not doing the counters in the same lava rock as the fireplace. That's a good idea, though. I hadn't thought of that. I'll check it out if it's possible. Because it's not too late, we haven't ordered the counters yet. Putting slick moves on my wife. I'll have to ask my wife, but I don't think she would say I was very slick at all. The bathroom progress, pretty much no progress. If I didn't have to go through a lake, I would take you around to see it. But no, it's still similar to the last video. The plumber has put in the pipes and everything so that they can just put in the bath and everything else, and the washing machine and everything like that. But it's pretty much empty, a shell, like the last video. Do I have any pets? No, but my wife has promised my children cats once we move here. I'm a dog person myself, to be honest. I'm not sure we need cats. I'd love to have a big dog here, but we need to put up fences and everything. I had a dog back in Australia. But yeah, we'd need to put up fences and everything. One of the neighbours used to have a German Shepherd, but I could see they had quite a big cage and everything where it must have stayed, and I'd rather just have the dog roam around free around the property. You can have both cats and dogs. I like cats. We have a few, I don't know if they're stray cats or they're neighbours' cats walking around here. It used to give me a shock at night when I was working here in winter, before the house was all cleared out, I have to admit. Yeah, no, I'm going to be happy to have cats. I'm going to be happy to have cats. I just, yeah. The bedrooms. Bedrooms are still pretty much as in the video. So this is where I've been working on the foam. Yeah, that video that I shot was pretty much up to date. There hasn't been that much change except for the 2 windows we put up the top here. I shot a video of me cutting out those windows, which was really nerve-wracking because I really like the black, whatever, asphalt style thing on the outside, and I had to cut a little bit through that, which was a bit of a difficult decision, especially if I'd made a mess of it, but I managed to get through it okay and cut it to a decent shape. Yeah, we needed those windows. I mean, I did almost back out of putting the windows in at the last minute, just because I was nervous about cutting through the black material outside and making a mess of it. I mean, you can get it replaced, but then it would be new and be a bit different to the rest of the house. So, but it really needed it, not only for light, but also for ventilation during summer. And they're double glazed windows. All right, so do I have Japanese ancestry? No, I don't. If you're my ancestry, so I was born and raised in Australia. My father is English and my mother is Indonesian, hence the name Jaya. So a lot of people, well, some people think that I'm part Japanese because I'm living here, but no, I'm not part Japanese. Yeah, I'll do a series on the Zen garden after the Zen garden after the renovation. So yeah, there's a lot of things to do. So I want to try and get this finished as quickly as possible. Hopefully, the progress is actually further along than it looks, mainly because all of the floors have been done. So underneath all of this is wood flooring. So the carpenter has finished all of the floors. So once the walls are done, then the house will really be taking shape. They just need to put in the toilet, a new toilet here, and obviously the kitchen and the bathroom. But things seem to be moving and progressing quite well. What voltage is used in Japanese electrical? It's 110 volts, 100 volts. Depends on the part of the country, but in this area, 100. Thanks, B. Molotov, for the shoji paper. Yeah, that's another thing that we're going to have to spend a bit of time on, because we're going to do all the painting and the plastering, the shikui ourselves. It used to be, well, it still is a skill for a professional tradesperson, the shikui, but they do now make easier to apply kind of DIY shikui. This is the lime plaster, the Japanese lime plaster I'm talking about. The real lime plaster is something you need to really practice a lot. The plastering, you need to lathe it on. So I've seen documentaries of Japanese plasterers putting it on, and there is an art and skill to it, and they lathe it on. But so ours obviously won't be to that level. But like I said, there are new DIY versions that are a bit easier to apply. Thanks, Jules Sanchez. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm getting, it's been the last couple of weeks have been a lot of work. I might take, after this video, I might take the rest of today off, but I've been working here pretty much any spare time I have. So when I'm not working, yeah, and it's been a bit tough with the kids at home all the time. And my wife's working from home too. So she works in Tokyo. I work from home anyway, but my wife usually commutes to Tokyo. And so she's been at home. The kids have been at home. Would have been great to have already moved to this house so the kids could at least have the garden to go out. I mean, no, they go out a bit, and they go out and ride their bikes just around the block and skateboards around the block and things like that. But it would have been great to have had this house. And they come here too sometimes. When I'm working here, they'll come here with me. And I get them to do the weeding. So sometimes they're not so keen to come here, actually. That's why. So I live just down the road. I'm about a couple of minutes drive from this place. So when I was looking for a place, we needed to find something that was local. Because we wanted the kids to go to the same school as that they currently go to now, and we wanted to stay close to my my mother-in-law. So my wife will have the same commute with the new house. It won't be any different. But what I'm hoping is, she already was able to work about once a week from home anyway. But what I'm hoping is that after, one positive from this whole coronavirus thing is that, companies, not just hers, realise that more employees, particularly in Japan, can work from home. And so perhaps she'll get to work from home a little bit more. Which is why we sort of decided to set up some of those nooks on the second floor. We're converting those into offices so that if she does work, we'll have an office each. So if she does end up working more from home, then we can both work at home at the same time. Thanks, Lucky Mezican. So many people asking what I do for work. It's nothing exciting. I actually work for an American company. Just nothing special, but just it is based in the US. It's sort of online work. I guess IT related, but nothing fancy. CIA, no. It was CIA, no. It would be, the school, I think in Australia they call it ACES. So floor heating is not a thing in Japan. It's just starting to be a thing in Japan. Okay, so because at this house, we're going to be going all electricity in this house. There's no mains gas. What most people do in this area is they get propane tanks. So I don't know whether you noticed in my first videos that you might have seen some propane tanks around the corner on the side of the house. And we decided not to go with the propane tanks, and we'll just go with an all-electric setup. And so we've got an electric boiler, which is called an Eco Cute. I don't know if you can get them overseas, but they're an energy-efficient carbon monoxide insulated boiler. And you can get a connection to that for radiant underfloor heating, which is what I was wanting to do. It seemed expensive for what it was, and we'd only probably want to do 1 or 2 rooms. I guess if you got it, you would do more rooms than 1 or 2, but I really wanted it for the kitchen, as a lot of people suggested in their comments. Now, we could still do that, because actually the kitchen floor, it doesn't have a subfloor. So the 3 centimeter thick boards were laid straight onto the joists. And that's pretty common in Japan. I did think about asking them to put in a subfloor. I don't know if it's, just because I'm used to having a subfloor, maybe. But I decided not to do that, mainly because I thought that if we didn't have a subfloor, it would be easier to install underfloor heating at a later date. Maybe I'm wrong. A specialist might be able to correct me. So the front door entryway from the big one. Yeah, good question about the oven. Yes, so that was something. As you've said, in Japan, it is not common to have a full-size oven. So they usually have a very small under stove oven, mainly as a grill. So it's sort of a grill sized. I really wanted an oven. I actually like baking, and I like to have my roasts and things like that. So one of the things that I really pressed was to have an oven. So we are getting an oven. It will be an electric oven. All right, thanks, Max Foster. Kiwis in Melbourne. Yeah, a lot of Kiwis in Melbourne. My parents, I don't know, just came back from a holiday in New Zealand. I don't think it was a very wise time of year to be traveling, but they had booked it ages ago, and they went, and they arrived back after Australia had locked down, and so they're in a 2-week quarantine right now, but they love New Zealand. Thanks, Lewis. I'll use this for a snack. I might even get myself a drink. So yeah, I'll have a real oven. We're getting a real wall oven. It'll be electric, yeah. My budget for the remodel project, yeah, I will tell you guys, but it's not so cheap. Once we've finished, I'll sort of total up how much we spent. Did I decide on the stain or paint for the exterior walls? Yeah. So the exterior walls, the wood, that I've already stained it with a clear UV stain. It's supposed to slow or prevent the aging process in the wood to keep it at the nice clear, I guess, wood finish. But we'll see. I mean, I've got to re-stain them again in 5 years. So let's see if I keep that up. Yeah, the estimated date, 2 months maybe, but I asked the carpenters, what do you reckon about 2 months? And they were non-committal. Okay, you want to see the garden? What else? Let me see, we've got other questions. What is the most traditional and least traditional element of the rebuild? Thanks, Ian. The most traditional, I think, part of the rebuild is we're maintaining and even adding extra shoji. So I mentioned earlier, we'll paper up all of the shoji around here, put in the fusuma. I think keeping the horigotatsu in this room as well is a bit of a traditional element. We're actually also putting up new shoji here in the entrance, so that we'll be able to block off all of this whole hallway during winter, because it's very drafty. These windows are single pane, they're not all perfectly sealed, so like it's a lot of gaps and so on. I mean, you can close them, but they don't close perfectly. So the most modern is probably going to be the kitchen. I don't think it's not going to look so modern, but yeah, it's going to have an electric oven, dishwasher, and so on. I'm not going to go anywhere near bamboo again in this garden. Maybe, I don't think so. But yeah, we're actually going to get a sakura tree. We've actually just got a quote to get one. Some of my mother-in-law's friends kindly offered to buy us a decent sized one, so they sort of pulled together to give us a kind of housewarming gift. So we're going to be planting that soon. We spoke to a guy who's going to source us a tree that corresponds with our budget. Obviously, the bigger the tree, and it's still not going to be huge. I mean, a 2 meter sakura tree is about 20,000 yen, so about $200 to get a 2 meter sakura. Obviously, you can get 1 meter ones from the local DIY stores or like local garden centres for about $50 or even less, $40. So the sakura is a cherry blossom tree, a sakura tree. We're going to put it over across there, so opposite the house, so we can see it from the house. And we're going to move these stones, these huge stones. Sorry about the mess down there. These huge stones, which would be hidden under the deck, which would be a waste. And we'll move, one of them will be a step from the deck, and one of them will be a kind of bench under the sakura tree. Don't ask me how we're going to move those stones, though. We probably won't do redo the paper on New Year's Day, just because we'll need it before then. We'll need to have some in before then. Yeah, Japanese rock garden. I explained in my last video, the Japanese rock garden will be on the bedroom and bathroom side of the house. Yeah, shishiodoshi. I have been planning to get a shishiodoshi. For those who don't know, they're those bamboo water features in a Japanese garden. So yeah, I want to get one of those. Thank you very much, Matt Heliar. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the wishes. Yeah, I think hopefully we're starting to see the end of the project. So even though I've been plenty motivated, it sometimes does get a bit tiring, not having so much spare time. Thanks, Milk Tea. Yeah, my neighbours are very happy. We're actually supposed to have a barbecue today with the neighbours. One of the neighbours' daughters has just graduated from grade 6 in primary school, and there was going to be a barbecue to celebrate today, but because of the coronavirus, they've put it off until summer. Hopefully well, we'll see, but hopefully everything dies down by then. Am I going to install a fence? No. I like the open area. Yeah, people can look in, but you'd need a pretty high fence to block people from seeing us from the road up there. We're going to put more in more trees though, and I have already planted. Let's just go out. I have already planted some, you can see them, there they are. I have planted some hedges to shield off the bathroom area. I don't think they'll be effective for a couple of years yet, but good to get started anyway. They are kinmokuse, which is in English a fragrant tea olive, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so they're orange fragrant tea olive hedges. So they would give off a nice smell as well, apparently. So yeah, that's The subaki is this one over here. Am I going to do YouTube after? Okay, let me just go back. Are you going to continue YouTube after the build? Yeah, I think I will. There's still so much to do. So there's going to be the deck, second floor. I also want to do a bit more stuff with the original carpenter. So I see the rain's died down a bit. I'll go outside. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go outside. No, they won't do. Okay, sorry, I'm going to put you horizontal for a second. So I get my shoes on. All right, so I'll take you out and have a look at the outside of the bathroom area. So one of the things I wanted to make a YouTube video of at a later date. Look at that. So one of the things I wanted to do a YouTube video on a later date. So you see the front of the house. This is a siding. This is a galvanized metal siding. I don't like the color very much, and since we took this down, we're going to put. I had thought about getting a wood siding, but this is the north face, and this tends to be the face that gets hit by typhoons. So we're going to put on some new galvanized metal siding. I think we're looking at black for that. But this bath house, I want to put wood siding on. So my plan for one video in the future is with the original carpenter. I'm going to get him to show me how to make Japanese wood siding, and then I'm going to try and put some on. The thing is, the daily life in Japan videos, but it's just, already a lot of people do those sort of videos. Maybe a bit more of a country life could be an interesting topic, but already there's so many good Japan YouTubers that I'm not sure having another sort of daily life video would be that useful. I don't know. Yeah, country rural life videos. We'll see. Yeah, I'll definitely keep something up. The access to the bathroom from inside. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Sasha. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Japanese rock garden. Just hopefully I can do that this year. We'll see. I can't believe it's already pretty much April. We're getting through spring, even though it doesn't feel like spring today. And then we're on to summer, and I asked my wife what the priority was after the house was finished, and she told me to get the barbecue area ready. So that'll be the next project. So this is the entrance to the bathroom from the inside. So this doorway here, it's about 160 centimeters. So we're going to have to raise that. Yeah, and I do plan to do some videos of other parts of Japan, other renovations. So since I've been doing this, some other people, foreigners, but Japanese would be obviously good too. Other people renovating houses like this, just to see how they've done it, maybe how they've done it differently. I know some people prefer a more traditional renovation or a bare minimum renovation, so it'd be cool to see some houses that have been done in that way. So, and also at the same time, visit another part of Japan. So I thought that might be interesting because I had fun doing the Sado Island video. I thought it was interesting to see some houses in a different style to mine as well, traditional houses. So I might do stuff like that too. I haven't really been thinking about it. My sort of head's been preoccupied with this renovation. But yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed doing YouTube, so I would like to do something along, within this sort of topic in the future too. Yeah, Tokyo-style townhouses could be interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. What about extinguishing fire? Well, I guess we'll have to have obviously a fire extinguisher in here. That's a worry with a wooden house like this, fire and so on. Yeah, we'll have to be careful. Thank you, Jack's Mittens and stuff. Thanks for watching. Hello from London. Yeah, interior paint I mentioned. It's going to be mostly lime plaster, Japanese shikui lime plaster. Yeah, the ceilings look great. We are not touching the ceilings. They're beautiful. I mean, I love the ceilings. So, yeah, they're going to be as is. One cool thing, this is an extractor fan. This would have been the room that the previous owner, the Horiko Tatsuo was in this room, and the previous owner would have sat here smoking. And this is the extractor fan for the cigarette smoke. And what's really nice is the carpenter made an original wood extractor fan cover. So this is he took the original plastic extractor fan cover and cut it, well, did something, and then put it. This is real cedar, same material used in the rest of the ceiling. So you can't really see the extractor fan. So that was, I thought it was really nice. A Toto washlet. I don't think we're getting a Toto washlet, but I think we're getting Inax toilets and washlets, I think. How do we plan to decorate the house? Haven't really decided. I don't know. Something that's fits the sort of a modern Japanese style house. I don't know. Any ideas? Will you get a chook run? Yes. I'm planning to put in a chicken coop and run. That's going to go around the side. I'm going to put that around over there. So that's, over around there is where I'm planning to put the chicken run. That part of the garden. But that's another project. It's probably I'm probably going to have to wait till next year to do that one. Yeah, the exterior walls are very thin. I mentioned earlier they're only about 10 point. Well, those posts, they're as thick as those posts, which are 10.5 centimeters. And then you do have an extra bit of siding outside that. So original walls are very thin. And one of the reasons that we knocked down not only just to adjust the sizes of the rooms, but the original walls between the rooms were also really thin too. So we've thickened those up and we'll put some soundproofing between them too. Thanks, Nene. Yeah, the bathroom will have hinoki floors, and I guess the washroom where you get changed will also have hinoki walls. Oh, did I say wall floors or walls? Hinoki walls. The bathroom floor, because it'll be a Japanese style bath, where you go into the bathroom, shower, or wash yourself with buckets before you get into the bath. So the whole floor is covered in water. So that'll just be a plastic one. That was a compromise with my wife. It's much easier to clean. It's like a Japanese unit bath. A unit bath has all the plastic floor, ceiling, and walls. And so it's a self-contained unit that the whole room can get completely wet. But we're getting a half unit where the walls are going to be a more natural material. I did want to get tiled floors and so on, but just for convenience, we compromised on that bathroom. How tall is the ceiling? I can't really remember, but hold on. It's about 3 meters. This ceiling in this room is about 3 meters tall. That's right, because those posts are 4-meter posts. So it's about 3 meters. So these posts have been reinforced. So we've got quite a few, about 4 reinforced posts around here. So yeah, the charge of the carpenters do seem to be. I don't know exactly how much carpenters charge in other countries, but they seem to be quite reasonable for the amount of skill and work that they provide. The materials are expensive, and we're mostly using sugi, which is a Japanese cedar, and that's the cheapest of the Japanese kind of quality woods. So it's cheaper than hinoki, and much cheaper than this wood on these beams. This wood is called, oops, sorry, these beams. This is called keyaki. Keyaki. I can never remember the English name, so if you want to Google what keyaki is, Keyaki. It's a hardwood, and this wood is really expensive now. It takes a long time to dry. We did look at using some keyaki, particularly on the new beam, because we're putting a shoji in along here. We needed a new beam, and we were thinking to get a keyaki beam to match the rest of it. But one beam was going to cost about $1,500. So this was a commonly used wood 30 years ago. Now, because modern houses don't use it, because it's quite a hard wood to use, because it's a hardwood and heavy, you don't get it. They don't sell it very often. So the places that do sell it charge quite a lot because it's not used, and it takes a long time to dry. So a beam that size would take about 5 years to dry. So we decided not to use the keyaki on that beam there. So Zelkova serrata. Japanese Zelkova, or they call it. I remember I did look it up, but I forgot what it was called in English. Japanese Zelkova, yeah. Well, thanks for that. So you basically can't get houses done with keyaki these days. Well, you can, but that would be very, very expensive. So, and the rest of so these ceilings are sugi, cedar. The new ceiling that the carpenter put in here is also a cedar from Akita Prefecture up north. That's considered the best cedar in Japan. So it's got nice grain. So those boards are very, very thin. So they're sliced really thin and they've got nice grains. He's deliberately chosen a crisscross sort of pattern. Alternates the grain on every second board. I'm talking US dollars, sorry. I'm generally speaking US dollars. Using pebbles for the entryway, yeah, I'd like to use some pebbles around the house. Once we sort out, we've got to sort out this concrete. I mean, I'll leave the concrete in for now. It's going to be a big project. It would be a big project to remove the concrete. But I've got to sort out this the puddling of the water. It's just because it's, and once that's done and we tidy up the whole driveway and concrete area, we will use pebbles. It's snowing in Tokyo. Yeah, I saw it was going to snow today. So it hasn't snowed here, just constant rain. All right, so I thank everyone for watching. I'm probably going to end it here. Hope everyone, I'll answer maybe a few questions before I finish off. But I hope everyone is okay during this coronavirus, the time of coronavirus. It's sort of arrived in our prefecture in Ibaraki. We didn't really have any confirmed cases for a while, but it's starting to ramp up a bit, so everyone's being a bit more careful now. Sapporo, Asahi, or Kirin? I prefer Kirin. How about you guys? All right. Cool. So thanks very much for watching, especially those who have stayed up late. I don't know, it must be past 1 a.m. in Western Europe and midnight in the UK. Next video, no promises. I'll have to, I'm really busy at the moment trying to get this foam up. They want me to hurry up with the foam. They want to finish off this main section of the house soon. So I've got to do that in the next few days. And then I have been filming. I have to admit, I haven't filmed that much of me putting up the foam just because it's been such a difficult process, measuring and cutting and everything like that. I haven't been able to deal with the extra factor of placing and turning on the camera, but I've done some, filmed other things. So I generally try to film film as I go along, and then later have a look and edit it all in. So I'll try and get something. No promises though. But thanks very much for watching and following. It's been great. I haven't expected so many people to be interested in this. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Richard. Yeah, thanks for watching, Richard. Appreciate it. I'll buy a beer later. All right, so cool. I'll start thinking about my next video, and yeah, thanks again. I've said quite a few times. Thanks again for watching, and I may do another live stream next time. I'll try and make sure it's in landscape. Okay, so yeah. I'm learning. All right. Okay, thanks everyone. All right, thanks everyone, and see you next time. Okay, bye. Now, how do I turn this off? All right, bye-bye.